Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing the technique squeezing the peach, its execution, some of the things that you should know about its execution, and some things that you should be able to do to compensate if things go wrong. So let's start out with the ideal attack. The ideal attack is a rear bear hug, arms pinned and low, unlike some other techniques like spreading branches and others such we have from the rear. This is low, which means I can't move my arms like you just saw me do. So this makes things a little bit harder than it normally would be. So for instance, we have a general rule that says get the upper hand. Trying to get that upper hand gets to be a little bit difficult because of how low it is. But we want to try to do it regardless, and keep in mind that as we progress through the technique, it's going to be easier and easier for us to get this upper hand. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try. So what we try and do is get our hand on top of theirs. What we don't want to try and do is move their hands up like this, because that's what's going to happen. So what we want to do is just use our wrist to try and get on top. Don't try and work it and get the upper hand, because you might start something that's going to be far worse than just the bear hug. So just keep that in mind. So since I really can't move my hands very much, what I want to try and do is just slide this left hand behind as my right hand comes forward. So it's turned sideways so that you can see what's going on here. So you already saw the right hand, so what's happening is at the same time I'm doing this. I'm moving the right hand up and the left hand back. The left hand, we try and get as back as far as we can. Again, if we need to use the wrist side to side, we can do that. So if I can't move my arms very at all, I can just move my wrist side to side. But what the idea that I'm trying to get is I'm trying to get my hand directly behind myself so that I have a direct line of sight for their groin. Why? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back and push my hand into their groin. I'm not going to try and strike the groin. What I want to do is get the hand onto the groin. So as I begin to step back, since I want to get my hand to the groin, one of the things I don't want to do is lean away. Because what that's going to do is going to give them the upper body hand, so to speak, and destabilize myself. What we want to try and do is keep the back up straight and step directly into it, into what we're going into, so that the hand gets pushed up against the groin successfully. Then what we want to do, once we've now got it pressed against the groin, we want to grab and squeeze the groin. So what's that going to do? The reason why we're going to do that is because we want to take their mind off of their squeeze and onto our squeeze. That'll also, like I said earlier, allow you to get your upper hand just a little bit better, potentially, by doing the squeeze and then reworking this a little bit if you need to. So now once I have that grab, what I want to do now, he can let go from me for a second, is I want to step forward and pull him with me. The thing that you don't want to do is, if you watch my hand there, I don't want to walk away and then pull. What I want to do is I want a body fusion. So what I want to do is pretend my hand is fused to my body and I pull forward. Notice that he's going to come with me. Trust me, if you got him in the groin and you're pulling forward like that, he is going to walk with you. Now I can reapply the grab again. So keep our upper hand, we get our squeeze, we get our pull forward. So what we want to do here is walk directly forward. So what we're doing is we're forcing this person to straddle the paddle. So what does that mean? Like we've done in the past, what we usually say is we don't want their heel beyond our heel. But now if you notice, my heel is behind his heel, which means I now have him straddling the paddle. So it's the opposite of what we want to keep aware of. When we're doing the technique against somebody else, we're forcing them to straddle the paddle, which means my heel now has line of sight with his groin. That's good for me, bad for him. So what I want to do with this opportunity is remove my left hand. I'm going to start a circle that will take out that groin, and then I'm going to go straight line to buckle him back. Okay? So I did that slow so that you can see it, so now let's talk about the details here. So we've got him to straddle the paddle, we do the circle, we do the buckle back. Now, just like we did in the beginning, we don't want to lean forward again because now I'm too far away from this opponent. What I want to do is stick to this opponent. We don't want gaps inside this technique. This technique's done us constantly being in contact with each other, body, okay? So what we want to do is when we get to here, buckle, and then hit. Now look at what happened here. I'm now going to be able to contour up his body with my elbow to go right up under his chin. So I have, again, line of sight from elbow to chin. So I do this buckle, and then I just take advantage of that. You don't even have to see what I'm doing. I can look at the camera, and I'm guaranteed to hit him into the chin no matter what. Then I can cross up and cover. Okay, so if you notice, this technique is a very contact-intensive technique, so we want to take advantage of that fact. Okay, so let's walk through this one more time. Let's do it at a new angle. So he's going to come from this side. So we're going to try and get the upper hand if we can. The left hand comes behind. At the same time, step back. Make sure that we keep our back up straight. Don't lean forward. Grab. Don't try and hit. Hold directly forward. Fuse the arm to the body. Circle. Line. Again, keep the back up straight. Come straight up under the chin with your elbow. Cross up, cover if you wish. One more time. We'll do it directly towards the camera so that you can see it. Up. Hope this video helps you. Thank you very much.